Are you feeling stuck in your current job and dreaming of making a real impact? You're not alone. 17 years ago, I was in your shoes and have been many times since then. In this video, we'll be talking about how to kickstart your L&D so that you have the confidence and the clarity to do so well. We're going to chat through three main things. So there are three sections to this video. The first is, what is learning and development and why is it important? The second will be just some of the top and essential skills you'll need in your learning and development career from now and as you progress through it. And the third thing will be key strategies for you to thrive in your career, what you need to do to continuously improve. So first, let's look at a generic definition of learning and development. Learning and development focuses on improving employee skills and knowledge to benefit both individuals and organizations. And really what that means is creating impactful learning experiences that lead to improved productivity and performance so that the organization thrives and has sustained success for the long run. And why does L&D matter? Well, without learning, we will stagnate. Without learning, we will fall behind. We could fall behind daily at this rate of change. Look at these stats on the acceleration of change. It is astonishing and very hard to believe. If we're only in the infancy stages of AI and it's already shaken our world up this much, can you imagine what's to come? It is our job in learning and development to get people ready for this. Now you know what learning and development is and why it's so important. Let's jump into some of the essential skills you'll need. The first one I like to talk about is effective communication. This is so important because you need to be an epic relationship builder. You will work across the entire organization. You will work with people above you and you will work with all the people doing the jobs. Some people refer to those as learners, but I like to call them people or our customers. To be effective and get anything done, you need to nurture those relationships so that you build your credibility and trust with those people. Next, there is just no getting away from analytical skills. Think of this like the detective work, analyzing why certain training methods or programs succeed, why they fail, and ensuring that you have the insight to improve those. Your suggestions, your strategies, and your solutions need to align with business goals so that you ensure their sustainable success. There is nothing quick and there are no hacks when it comes to developing people. Next is creativity and innovation, which really interweave. And these are my personal favorites. Not only do we get to be strategic and analytical, but we get to bring our creativity to the table. And that is just such a joy. With these skills, we create learning experiences that truly move the needle because people learn when they feel something. They change their behavior when they feel something. And so the more creative and innovative we can be when we're putting a solution together, the better the outcome. The next critical skill is project management, which, I'll admit, this is my weakness. Don't tell anyone. But I can promise you this has come back to bite me. So you want to work on your project management skills. We juggle so much at once. It's the perpetual problem of learning and development, having these small teams, often being under-resourced, but with huge expectations placed upon us. Project management and, dare I say, the ability to prioritize and even say no. I know, eeks, we're not good at that. But these things are critical for our success and ultimately the success of every person in the organization. Lastly, I want to touch on technical proficiency. This is another big one. And if you don't know the tools of the trade, I'm afraid you're not going to go very far. However, even though I say this, there are so many tools and technical skills for you to develop. Pick some and really go deep and get really, really good at those skills. I will tell you another secret. So besides not being very good at project management, I will let you in on a little secret. And this one is just between you and me. So don't tell anybody. But I have never, ever, not once dived into Articulate's Rise or Adobe Captivate. I have never worked on those systems, but I have had years of administration experience. So I was the administrator in an LMS, and that set me up for so much success going forward. So I consider myself pretty technology agnostic. I can dive into pretty much any LMS or LXP, which is a learning experience platform, and LMS is learning management system, if you don't know those. But I can pretty much dive into any LMS or LXP and figure it out because I have all the basics down pat. So don't worry about knowing every single tool. You need to get to know the basics and how they work, and then you can pretty much ebb and flow between the myriad of systems out there. Let's jump into section 3 on how to get started and set yourself up for success in learning and development. The first thing is formal education. There are specific degrees, master's degrees, even PhDs that you can get within the field. Look for things in HR, organizational development, organizational leadership, organizational psychology, which is what I did, and even in instructional design, and you can get into the field that way. The second option, or even on top of a formal education, is workplace certificates. So there are 4 big organizations that you can look into. The first one is SHRM, which is SHRM. The next is the ATD. The next is AIHR. And the last is HRCI. A lot of acronyms, right? I will link all of those in the description. And really, all of these are solid choices. So go through it. Have a feel. It's really going to be up to you what feels right. So some of those are HR specific with L&D as an option, whereas the ATD is really focused in on learning and development. And if you're serious about growing within learning and development, you're really going to want to check out the Talent Development Academy, which I created, and it is accredited with SHRM and ATD points. So if you choose one of those, my course will help you earn the points you need to get the certificate, or earn the points you need to keep on earning the certificate year on year. My third piece of advice is to build your experience. If you're not in the role yet and you're just, you can't wait to get into learning and development, you just love it. That is exactly where I was. I started off in recruitment and I was like, I need to get into learning and development. Here is my biggest tip. Put your hand up to develop the company's onboarding program. That is where I got my big break, so to call it, in this field. And I can promise you, no one in the organization is going to say, no, you cannot develop the onboarding. I will also link my learning journey. So it's just the framework of a 90-day onboarding program that you can build. So again, grab it there. It's just a value add for you. The fourth piece of advice I have for you is connect with professionals in the field. LinkedIn is a great place to follow some really great people. Believe me when I say I have made so many connections and increased my network exponentially through LinkedIn. Remember that everyone there is human and people love to help. So if you genuinely reach out to someone asking for advice and guidance and support, and you're not just taking, so like you don't want free, hours of their time, I can almost promise you that not many people are going to say no to that request. And last, find the right resources. Read engaging books, listen to podcasts, join communities. There is just so much to do out there. It can actually feel overwhelming. So just make sure you're being very specific and zoning in on that high quality stuff. Here are my top picks for you. Podcasts, I would listen to the Talent Development Think Tank and Workplace Stories. Also, watch out, my podcast will drop very soon, and it's called The Development Nerds. People to follow include Elena, Lita, and Sheridan. I'll add their links in the description. All three of these are industry experts and have partnered with me on the Talent Development Academy. So they will come in, they'll give some coaching, and they've provided some awesome bonus material for those who do join. These people are fantastic and a wealth of knowledge. Follow them and tell them I sent you. Books, I would start with How People Learn by Nick Shackleton-Jones. This is an incredible book. It's easy to read and it really puts it into perspective of our work and how to approach it. And so it's a fantastic read. I highly recommend it. My next recommendation is The Fifth Discipline by Peter Senge. I read this maybe 10 years ago now, and it still holds true. It still guides me so much, and I have it right there on my bookshelf. So it is a fantastic read that I highly, highly recommend. And as always, since you have stuck around to the end, I want to leave a little bonus here for you. But these are 4 things you need to keep at the back of your mind. So the first one is obviously AI. It's huge. It is disrupting pretty much every single industry, and we have to be very thoughtful about what we do as AI becomes integrated into our workplaces. The second one is a talent marketplace. And this is much more than just a gig economy. So a talent marketplace, instead of looking at, what role you do, what job you have, what team you're in, what function you work for, a talent marketplace is really about looking at the skills that are available within the organization and picking up those skills and dropping them where they are needed. So it's a lot to do with working in projects and just where things are very agile and moving. That is going to become more and more evident. I don't think anyone's cracked this nut yet, but it's coming. The third one is a global workplace. As I work with more clients, it is becoming very apparent that this is the norm, and navigating global complexities is a huge challenge. Something to keep in the back of your mind always if you're working with people even across America. There are very different ways of working, and of course, globally. The fourth one I want to share with you is change agility. And this is much more than change management. Change management typically gets applied to a project. Let's say you're implementing new software that often comes with a change management stream or process behind it so that everyone adapts to this change. Change agility is more than that. Change agility is really the ability or the capability or the skills even to change, to work in an environment where change is absolutely around us every day, all the time. It is the norm. And how do we continuously adapt, stay agile, and really thrive in those environments? It's not an environment that's out there. It's an environment that you're in right now. To wrap up, here's what I want you to do for yourself. Number one, keep learning. I keep learning daily. I engage with people in my field. I obsessively listen to audiobooks and podcasts. I read, I engage, I look, what's happening in the world. I am learning on a daily basis, and you will too. And I absolutely love that for you. Ask for feedback. Ask a friend, ask a colleague, ask your spouse or your partner, ask your boss. Just ask for feedback that is constructive and actionable so that you can continuously improve and see your blind spots, because we all have them. Be adaptable. Sometimes things just don't work out. Heck, I had to take a demotion in my career, and I was turned down for 3 internal promotions. That stung. That was absolutely brutal. But it didn't stop me. In fact, it fueled me. It fueled me to become better and better and better and learn more and more and more and work on myself until I became the best. I was the obvious, the only choice for that promotion. Okay, so there you have it. L&D in a rather large nutshell. We covered what learning and development is, why it's important, some of the essential skills you'll need to be successful in this career, some ways that you can continuously learn, develop, and grow for yourself, and then a little bit of a bonus of the 4 megatrends that are impacting the world of learning and development. If you enjoyed digging deeper into learning and development, you're really going to want to get in on the waitlist for the Talent Development Academy. If this resonated with you, if you were like, wow, show me more, give me more, then this is for you. It is the playbook. It is everything you need, nothing that you don't. I'm not going to drown you in things, but this will be absolutely everything you need. I've taken everything I've learned in my career, distilled it into this academy, and I promise you, you are going to be golden. So jump in on the list and stay up to date with what's happening. So when it launches, when it closes, you'll be the first to know. And since we're friends now, I would love to hear from you. Tell me the number one thing that confuses you about learning and development, and I will try my best to answer your questions. Bye for now.